Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show with me, Kavita Thapliyal. Now we talk about various asset classes on the show and how to invest in them, how to maintain the momentum of earning in it. But do you know, if you're a content creator or someone who is maybe a tad bit digital savvy, you can create your own digital assets, make money out of it. What exactly is the concept of digital assets, and how we are talking beyond crypto, NFTs, and just having a website and different patterns of monetization? Let's understand all of this. We have Sumit Gupta, founder of The Viral Patch, with me. Sumit, good evening and welcome to the show. The concept of digital assets or creating digital assets is not very new. Ever since we've had crypto, NFTs, and all the kind of social media platforms come up, and especially the wave of content creators, we've heard a lot about having digital assets, make money out of it, making it as one of your investment avenues. But then now it's even more important to talk about it because there's so much of competition. Every other person you see, Sumit, is a content creator, okay? You yourself mentor people and show them the right way as to how can you create digital assets. Tell me something, what are the basic outline understanding that one needs to have in order to create a digital asset? Because so far what we've seen is a person becomes a content creator, and by default, because they are on there so many platforms, and because there's a surge of followers and people who like your content, you try to monetize it. It becomes like a by default act. Okay, how do we strategize it? Okay, how do we consciously take this step towards having our digital assets? How do we go about it?
Right. Thank you, Kavita, for having me here. I think to create digital assets, the first thing you have to do is to identify the type of asset you want to produce, right? It can be an ebook, to an online course, to a software, to even a template or a music video, right? You should focus on original content that caters to your target audience needs, right? And that as a content creator, you would know the best. Ensure that there is copyright or intellectual property protection in place, right? And design a user-friendly interface if you're going to a website or creating an app for yourself. It's very important to implement a monetization strategy that suits your asset, because, for example, you can have a subscription model, which is like, famous among all the content creators right now. You can choose the right distribution platform, because it's very important. For example, for music videos, you can, music or videos, you can maybe use YouTube, maybe Spotify for that matter, right? Digital marketing techniques are very important. You need to understand how it works, because you also need to promote your assets very effectively. And if the asset involves user data or transactions, you have to prioritize data security. By diversifying your digital assets, you can maximize your impact and value in digital space. Over to you.
Right, Sumit. Okay, so moving on, if through examples you could actually help us understand the kind of verticals one needs to have to create these digital assets.
So as I mentioned, right, so it can be, an ebook, a course, or even a template, right? I've seen a lot of people selling their short-term courses, on various subjects or niche topics for that matter. And I think that's a very good strategy wherein you understand your audience and you are pitching your audience with a subscription for that matter. Collaborating with other creators or businesses can also result into joint creation of digital assets or exclusive content for that matter, right? It helps you build a lot of audience, and also you build your own database or an email list wherein you engage with them through newsletters or content, right, which is exclusive on that platform or app or website that you've created. It creates an overall impact, and you can diversify your asset. It helps you to establish yourself and your authority in the market, and obviously you become an expert in that particular field, right? So it's very important to create your niche, having an understanding what your audience wants and creating an asset around.
Sumit, now the catch over here is to monetize it, because the kind of platforms that we are discussing about, it's not, obviously you need to be very exclusive, and your content needs to really stand out. But looking at the kind of variety, an end user has right now, how do you stand out and how do you try and monetize your content? Because that's the important trick of this entire trade.
I understand. So I think monetization is definitely one of the most challenging tasks you do, because you can create content, even your content is engaging, but I found most of the content creators trying to, maybe you're struggling with their monetization part, right? I think it takes time for you to understand how it works, but definitely the best monetization strategy that you can have is a subscription model that you have in place for your audience regarding your content or the specific niche content that you create. You definitely have to present it in a manner, or you have to take it as a product of your own, or as your own baby, where you nurture it. You have your own digital marketing expertise in place where you're trying to promote it as well, not only through your content, or maybe through other content creators, or maybe through Facebook, Instagram, other advertisements in place, right? So it's very important to use all these tools, understand how it works, and go after the audience which is already out there, who is listening to you right now on a particular platform, and convert them into a paid subscription.
But then now till the time you have a pay subscription, for example, if you're talking about that model, till the time you reach that level in terms of content, in terms of variety, in terms of having engagement, what all tools would you recommend?
So I think then the influencer marketing platforms are come handy, right? So you have so many brands out there who understand the value of the content that you're producing, or the kind of engagements that you bring from your audience, right? And all the brands definitely value that, because they understand that it's your niche and it's your audience that you've created over a period of time. And you can definitely make money by collaborating with brands, having those sponsored collaborations, or maybe stories, or maybe specific reels, or maybe a YouTube video created for that particular brand, or maybe doing a nice integration within your content for a particular product. I think that turns out to be first monetization strategy that any content creator goes out and works with.
Sumit, having a very strong social media presence, how can that impact and that in fact help you, creating better digital assets and having good traction on your website, or maybe anything that you're trying to build as a digital assets? How can a strong social media presence is needed and can act as a very important tool which can help you monetize also, which is the ultimate goal?
Yeah, definitely. I think it all starts with social media, because everybody's on social media. If you look at on an average, like people are spending like close to 70-80 minutes on an average every day on different social media platforms, and it gives you an opportunity to capture that audience out there who's there on social media. So you start a journey from social media. You see how which category of content you're creating, and how you can engage audience within that niche category of content that you're producing. Based on that, you move to a layer wherein you work with influencer marketing platforms, and you work with brands and create stories or integrations which can help you to monetize. And the third step is obviously to work on a model wherein you are actually charging your your audience for that niche content that you're producing, or maybe your niche music, or maybe videos that you're producing for that particular subject.
All right, Sumit, last question to you, and then we will wrap up the discussion, because I really want to understand. How exactly are we talking about building up digital assets, and what's the kind of pay scale, and what's the kind of monetization that's really working? If through examples you could explain.
So I think right now, in terms of digital assets, the best way to monetize right now is influencer marketing platforms, because brands are really understanding the importance of influencer marketing as a space in India specifically, though it has been used worldwide as a mainstream media for now. But if you look at India, it's a very small market, and it's just waiting to explode. Larger brands to smaller brands, big brands like FMCG companies to D2C brands to BFSI brands, they all understand the importance of content creators, and how these content creators can actually create impact, not only give them the eyeballs, but also can lead to a very good ROI as well, right? So I think that's the first thing that a content creator should look at. And brands also are very keen on trying to understand what the influencer marketing is all about, and content creation is all about, and they are all gung ho to spend advertising dollars on this as a platform, or this as a medium of their advertising.
All right, Sumit, that will be all. Thank you so much for being on the show today and helping our viewers with every aspect of creating digital assets today.